Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to another edition of Best Graphics Cards for the Money. Now, a lot of people have been requesting me to update this. Not too much has changed, but a couple things have. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it since I've been getting so many requests. So let's get straight into this with the cheapest graphics card. I went with the Sapphire Radeon HD 6670, the DDR3 version, because the DDR5 version is about $20 to $30 more expensive. Now, this is a $50 graphics card now. Right off the bat, after you hear $50, you're probably like, this graphics card's a piece of shit. But a lot of people, when they buy a gaming PC, all they want to play is games like Diablo 3, League of Legends, World of Warcraft. Those are like the big three games they play. Nothing else. They're not going to play anything else. They just want to, higher frame rates in those low intensive games. Well, there's really no point in getting, a GTX 560 or 660, when you're playing just games like World of Warcraft and League of Legends. You might as well get something more low-key. Can still run those games perfectly fine at high frame rates at, pretty high resolutions. I mean, those games aren't very hard to run, so if you're overextending and getting a GTX 660 and spending $300, you're essentially throwing $250 down the toilet, so you might as well get something like Sapphire Radeon HD 6670 DDR3, and this can still run those games at 1080p at pretty decent settings, at pretty decent frame rates, and you save like $200, so for the low-end gamer, if you're building something like a $250 gaming PC, something for your younger cousin, younger brother, something low-key, this is not a bad option to go with. Obviously, don't be expecting to run games like Battlefield 3 at 1080p at ultra settings, but even a game like Borderlands 2, you could probably run that game at 720p at, low to medium settings at 30 frames per second. That's not a bad experience for $50, so really not a bad graphics card at all for its price. Next graphics card I went with was the Sapphire Radeon HD 7770 GHz edition. Now, this comes to the market for $95, and it comes with Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon and Far Cry 3 for free. I've gone over this graphics card several times now. I've just gone over how good of a value it is. Just keep in mind, the Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon and Far Cry 3 that you got for free aren't Steam copies of the game. You actually have to use Ubisoft's god-awful Uplay service, I believe it's called. It's god-awful, but still two excellent games. For me, I'd personally rather have those games on Steam, since Steam's actually a good service, but Uplay's friggin' god-awful. Still two good games that you're going to be able to play, and the Sapphire Radeon HD 7770. $95, really good graphics card to run, games at 1080p, medium settings, 30, 40 frames per second. So not a bad choice to go with, and again, you get those two free games, even if you do have to stick with the horrible Uplay service. Next graphics card I went with was the Sapphire Radeon HD 7850. Now, I was looking at the 650 Ti Boost, and while AMD doesn't give the games for free with the 7850 anymore, they do with some flavors of the 7850, but those are the more expensive 7850s. This is going by Newegg, by the way. Maybe some other retailers do support those games for all flavors of the 7850, but I was looking at the 650 Ti Boost, was looking at the 7850. Those were exactly the same price, $155 and a $15 mail-in rebate attached to each of them. I was just like, 7850 is easily a way better, graphics card. 650 Ti Boost is good, but the 7850 completely outclasses it, and it's like a tier above the 650 Ti Boost, so I had to go with this over the 650 Ti Boost. Recommended the 7850 several times, and while the value isn't as good as when it had the free games, still a pretty damn good value and a pretty damn good graphics card if you're gaming at 1080p at pretty high settings. Now, the next two cards I'm going to group together because you guys will find out why. I went with the GTX 660 and the Sapphire Radeon HD 7870. Now, the 7870 is about $10 to $15 more expensive, but it also performs a little bit better. Now, the thing is the deal breaker for each of these graphics cards, they each come with a free game. So whether with the GTX 660 you get Metro Last Light for free, and with the 7870 you get Crysis 3 for free. So depending on which one of those games you want more, I would go with that graphics card, since that is a $50 value, and whatever game you want is a big factor into what graphics card you pick. Personally, I liked Metro Last Light a hell of a lot more than I liked Crysis 3. I'd highly recommend you guys to play Metro Last Light. Just an awesome game, awesome atmosphere, great story. It's the kind of FPS game that you really don't see anymore, and it's not, one of those bro shooters with no story, and it's all like, yo guys, play multiplayer, the servers last for like 2 days, and I just like Metro Last Light a lot. It was, a breath of fresh air into the first-person shooter genre, and I highly recommend you guys play those games, but each of those graphics cards aren't a bad option to go with, and the GTX 660 non-TI edition is actually one of the best values you can get from an NVIDIA graphics card. Alright, now we take a bit of a leap, but the leap is well worth it because I went with the Sapphire Radeon HD 7970. Now, this is $310, so it's a big jump, like I said, between the 7870 and the 7970. But it comes with Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, Crysis 3, Bioshock Infinite, and Tomb Raider for free. Like I've said in previous videos, you can easily sell those games if you don't want them and, you know, get $70, $80 back and recoup the cost of the graphics card. Or you can keep, you know, 4 pretty awesome games, except for Crysis 3. But I'm not going to get into that. 4 pretty awesome games, and you can just play them, and that's $100 value, and you'll be good to go. In the 7970, damn good card at high resolution gaming. I really don't have to go over that. I think most of you guys know how damn good, awesome this graphics card is. The Sapphire version that I'm looking at for $310 actually has an awesome fan solution, and you can overclock the hell out of this card. So yeah, really good card right there. Finally, the last card I went with was the GTX 780. Now, this is $650, and it is only for the highest end of gamers. And the thing about this is, I really think that NVIDIA released the GTX Titan I think they knew when they were releasing it, it was going to be so bad. And when they released the GTX 780, people were going to be like, well, look at the 780. It's just like the Titan, except a little bit slower, and it's $350 cheaper. I think that was all just an advertising ploy just to make the 780 look better. Now, I'm not about these conspiracy theories, so I'm not going to go into that, why I think that and whatnot. You guys already know, I've explained it before, but the GTX 780 is a really awesome card for the price. You really can't go with that, and all that Titan stuff I was talking about. Whether or not it's true, it probably isn't, but I just like to think of those, you know, what-if scenarios, and you know, the 780 is still a really good card, and if you're playing games at 2560 by 1600 and you're looking for the cheapest solution that you can get, there's really no other option. I mean, this is still $650, but it's the best $650 you're going to spend for a 2560 by 1440 gaming experience. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Remember to subscribe, like this video, and comment, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace!